Party inside, I say. Where you at? Popping outside, my friend. Where you at? Party inside, I say. Where you at? Popping outside, where you at?
Welcome to another episode of Zishapp Event Podcast, and you have your host, Usmangaliso Hatebe, aka SMG the rapper, and today, Sila Kwande Fest, and we're here to absorb knowledge, we're here to borrow some educational information for events, creativity, tourism, and environmental things that are happening that are able to also innovate our economy. And today, Ngihleli noseswami lana uneo Nomvete, and she is going to be explaining and taking us through everything, and also basically enlightening us on what is Kwande Fest and what is it for. So thank you very much for joining us at Zishapp Event Podcast, and welcome.
Thank you for having us, and also for being here at the venue space, which is the Station Urban Event Space in eThekwini. So thank you for actually popping in.
Oh, well, most definitely, because I have been contacting you guys.
Really?
Yeah, because at first I spoke to Kumisa, and I was like, can I please get through to the Kwande Fest project managers? I just need to speak to them and understand exactly what they're doing and the nitty-gritties. But thank you again for joining us here. And you guys gave us a very spacious lighting and background. Thank you for that. And before we continue, I need you to press that subscribe button at the bottom and make sure we're breaking that algorithm so that we're able to get this information to more people. All right? So before we start, I just want to understand now, Nomvete, where you from?
Where am I from? Good question. So my name and my surname are a bit of a contradiction. I'm Neo, which is Tswana.
Yeah.
So that tells you I definitely have some Tswana blood. Nomvete is a Xhosa surname, and I speak Zulu. So I grew up here in Durban.
Okay.
And multicultural. I'm blessed with that. And Durban, born and bred.
Okay. No, that's great. When you're looking at the idea of being multicultural, the Tswana and the Durban feel that you have, does it add more value to you and your character?
I think it allows me, and I'm speaking also on behalf of my family, I think it allows us to be a lot more open-minded in terms of different cultures and races and ethnicities. I also had the opportunity to study in Zambia during high school, so that really opened my mind to just a bigger world out there than South Africa, and looking at Africa as my home, as opposed to just one space in this world. So it definitely does create a lot more of an acceptance, of differences. Because my family is very different.
Diversity. There's so much diversity. I've been trying this whole week to understand and also to just put together a set of questions which will allow me to get as much information as I can. But at the same time, I also want to understand the individual I'm speaking to and the influence that they have and what's happening. Because at the end of the day, you need to get your credit where it's due. And also people need to see exactly who's doing these things. Right?
Thank you.
I just want to find out, what is your role in Kwande Fest?
Okay. My role is project manager. So my role within the Departments of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs is I'm the Deputy Director of the Creative Economy Unit. And within that unit, we are mandated to implement projects that in some way, we hope, are kind of contributing to the creative economy within the province. So one of such projects that we implement is the Kwande Fest. The full name is Creative Economy, Innovation and Business Week. And I suppose since you guys are here and you've given us this platform, it's from the 14th till the 16th of March this week. And it's an annual initiative. The purpose of it was to create a platform that incorporates different creative industries. So we refer to Kwande Fest as an integrated creative industries initiative. And we have different activities throughout the 3 days. Quite jam-packed actually this year, which is quite exciting.
That's great. I can actually see. I mean, I wouldn't have missed it on the timeline there. Kwande Fest is everywhere.
Awesome.
Everywhere.
People are doing their jobs.
It goes to show. I mean, my friends are talking about it as well.
That's exciting.
Like when I initially saw it, it's because somebody told me about it. It's not because I just saw it, but as soon as that person told me about it, and then I started focusing on my social media, I was like, oh, there it is. And I can see when I booked my own ticket, I could see there's a lot of other registration, because it tells you how many people have already registered. So I can tell it's jam-packed.
It is.
When you're looking at Kwande Fest, and with everything that you're doing right now, I just want to understand, when did the organization start?
This particular project was initiated and launched in 2021. So it was like almost a direct response to what happened in COVID 2019 and 2020. Although I do feel that like a lot of the residual challenges that many creatives and other industries experienced during COVID is something that's still kind of trickling down even this year and onwards, because it's just been really, really challenging and tough. But it was like a direct response in terms of the creatives. It was also a time when creatives were really like crying to government and on various platforms, just kind of letting everybody know that they are really struggling, because when they shut down everything, it shut down literally every single thing. And everything when it comes to creative industries is very interpersonal. Like you directly interact with people when it comes to creative industries. So that's just in short in terms of that element.
So basically it's just another way of recovering the whole hit that was experienced by the creative industry
as well.
No, that's actually good. I mean, not everybody is considerate of the fact that we're coming from that phase. Everybody just feels like, you know, the world is now open, everybody should be functional. Or if you weren't functional while the world was closed, that means you weren't doing enough. But there's just so much that we can do as individuals.
No, 100%. And just to touch on that, I feel like we are not even scratching the surface of the iceberg when it comes to the creative industries within the province. So in my opinion, I feel that there's many other creative talents and perhaps skills that were formed during COVID, and even maybe new neo industries within the creative economy that have been developed and formed, but we're still yet to discover them, you know. So you can't stop, like you have to just keep on
because people were indoors as well. I'm sure they had a lot of things that they had in their mind and things 100%. That they were doing as well.
100%.
What are the difficulties of operating Kwande Fest?
This is actually one of the questions that I thought you're going to get me into trouble with my position, but I think one of the difficulties, if I can be frank and use this as a safe space, one of the difficulties with operating this type of initiative or event, for lack of a better word, or one that encompasses the activities, the daily activities, is working unfortunately within the government structures, in the sense that certain things you have to consider beyond what it is that you are implementing. So there's a lot of eyes when it comes to government initiatives, and I think the feedback that we get even from public participants sometimes don't understand how much time it takes in order to implement this type of project,
Yeah.
and what resources we're currently working with.
Yeah.
So I wish people could actually understand that it's not at a snap of your fingers and this
yeah.
comes. Yes,
Yeah.
it takes time for us to get here.
Mhm.
There's a lot of thought processes behind it, but because it's on a government platform,
Mhm.
it's scrutinized a little bit more than
Yeah.
if it was an MTV based
Yeah.
type of initiative.
Like it's more of like it doesn't give you enough flexibility
Yes.
to implement what you want
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
It needs you to consider the fact that this is the process that you need to take,
100.
and that's another process that you need to take in order for you to get here.
Yes, and there's
Yeah.
no straight line to
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to anything in life, or especially when
Yeah.
it comes to an event. There's so many things in the background that are happening while there's things in the forefront that are happening.
Yeah.
So it's trying to also balance that. And most importantly is always keeping in the forefront the creative audience that this type of project is targeting.
Yeah.
So you always want to keep them in mind that, okay, if I put this type of workshop or this type of activity, what benefit will it be for those people who are going to be here throughout the 3 days?
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
also looking at that. It's a balancing act.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's actually good you sharing this information, because for the people that are actually watching today, it's not going to just be them taking the fact that this is another event
Yes.
where it's just going to be hosted, and either that is going to happen and that is going to happen. Everything has a step that we
Yeah.
need to follow.
Yeah,
I also, since we influencing a creative industry, what do you think is creativity beyond education?
Can you unpack that for me?
I mean, fine, we can attend a school from grade 1 up until matric and
Yeah.
everything, but that is just for fundamentals, basic needs, which is being able to count, being able to speak, write, read, right? After I've generated all of those things there, I understand these phases where you take a course, either you become a lawyer or you become a doctor or you become a cook, right? So when I'm looking at everything, while you're in that transition of being educated, do you feel having creativity on top of that, does it make it beyond what you already are in an educational level?
Okay, firstly, my idea of the creative industries might be a bit different to most people. And the reason why I say that is I'm not saying it necessarily because it's an industry that I'm passionate about or that I work within. But for me, creativity is in everything that we do. And you spoke about like the primary levels or the high school levels in terms of the education elements.
Yeah.
And in all of that, from even preschool, there's a creative element that is within the curriculum. And I feel that incorporating creativity, that's what makes us human, you know. And from a very young age, when you were a kid, 3 years old, drawing for your parents,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe they still have that artwork that you did. That's what makes you an individual, right?
Yeah.
So how do we take it out of our education when it's something that is embedded in us in terms of our DNA? Nobody tells a child what to paint. They just automatically gravitate
Yeah.
to that, and they
Yeah.
do their own art piece, or they color in whichever colors they want to color in. So
Yeah.
for me, creativity is something that is embedded in us, and it's just about exploring what your creative purpose is.
Yeah.
You mentioned like certain professional jobs, like a doctor. Yes, they're looking at the human body, but there is an element of creativity that they also have to look at, you know, whether it's innovation, which is still part of the creative industries, or even what they wear. That was designed by somebody. The logo that they have on their scrubs
Yeah.
or in their workplace, that's
Yeah.
designed by somebody. So when I say creativity is in every single thing that we do, it isn't what we hear it's in what we touch, what we feel, and what we taste. You spoke about a cook. That's another element of creativity. It's actually called gastronomy. That's an industry on its own. And to be able to become a professional cook, there is a creative element that you have to do in the way that you plate
creating your own recipes and stuff.
So there is that element. You spoke about a lawyer. When a lawyer has their own law firm, the furniture they sit on, that's part of the creative industries. The logo that they use as part of their stationery, that's been created by a creative. So it's in every single thing, and it's embedded in each and everybody, but it's just an element of what is your creative purpose on this earth. And that's how I look at the creative industries. So to answer your question in short, 100%, we need it in everything that we do, because it also gives us a different perspective of looking at things. If you're going to be looking at things in just black and white, you're going to take away from the human elements of it.
That's true. And I mean, I like how you broke it down. I mean, because there's so much detail that you were able to pinpoint, which are, I'm not going to say invisible, they're kind of distant, or they blur. They're not actually at the forefront of what is happening. Because when you look at the industry of people that design the doctor's clothes, or the furniture in the lawyers' businesses, those people are actually tapping into a different type of market that is not direct to artists or fans or followers. It's directed to business and corporates, basically. And like how you broke it down really makes a lot of sense. And it's I feel like it's something that a lot of us needed to hear in order for us to have a different idea of the entire culture of art and creativity, because a lot of us think we're just artists just to design, but not to infiltrate or understand the idea of business behind it. But moving on, I also want to understand something, because I want to speak more about the actual event now, the Kwande Fest. Why is Kwande Fest happening for 3 days?
Wow, there's a lot to do. I mean, if you talk about it as a integrated creative initiative, like you have to definitely look at like the key industries that contribute to the province's GDP, and also just the country's GDP. But also over and above that, you also want to introduce creatives to new merging industries, and there's just not enough time. There's panel discussions with key industry role players. There's breakaway sessions, and if you just look at the name in terms of the full name of Kwande Fest, it's the Creative Economy Creative Economy Innovation and Business Week. My apologies. So you want to incorporate all of that into the 3 day, one day I feel just wouldn't give it,
enough time, and
enough
also
time.
the what can I say, the emphasis of being able to get the message across. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. And also, like with the workshops that you're going to be having as well, what topics do you have, or what topics do you cover at the workshops that you're going to be having?
Okay, so we've got breakaway sessions. Those are happening throughout the 3 days. And they look at business finance and individual financial wellness. That's one element that I believe creatives do struggle a lot with, not because they don't, they are unable rather to implement that element in their own individual lives or businesses. It's just when it comes to finance, I think everybody gets kind of kicked off, and we want to give that opportunity for them to actually discuss where they see themselves in their creativity with various financial organizations that will be here, but also looking at their own individual create, like, their own individual financial wellness is important. If you're not taking care of your own personal wealth, how do you expect yourself to take care of your business? It has to speak together. And then we've got mental health sessions, or an organization, Durban Coastal Mental Health, that will be here doing group sessions. Creatives do undergo many challenges when it comes to mental health. And there's obviously no pinpoint percentage currently, but it is a general fact that creatives do experience quite a bit of struggles when it comes to their mental health. And it just makes sense in terms of looking at the creative elements of it as well. So we've got those group sessions with that organization, our partner for Kwande. This is their second time actually doing it, so we're excited about that. And then we've got business development workshops where creatives can come through, especially if they are retailing a specific product. They can sit down with Craft and Design Institute, and they'll be able to actually share with them knowledge and skills of how they can access markets, whether it's online or how they can also just improve their business acumen. And then we've got other workshops that will be happening. One is looking at the copyright bill amendments, and the other one is looking at actually creating a product which is a fascinator. Durban July is around the corner, so a lot of ladies love to put on fascinators. So that's also another way that a creative can learn a new skill and perhaps also just generate a revenue. How we select them, we have our standard sessions, finance, mental health, business development, and coaching and so forth. But the other workshops that we offer, we always look at one that will impart some sort of knowledge. So the copyright bill is one that each and every creative has got to understand and know where to go for more information, because once that bill passes, it will restrict a lot. So we've got the time now to make sure that, you know, the powers that be can change it so that it fits the various industries. So that one is very vital. So that's a knowledge element of it. And then we've also got the skill creatives to actually learn a specific skill. So that's looking at the fascinator. So that's how we always look at how we can integrate those sessions into the program.
Well, that sounds really brilliant, and also it sounds very detailed and a lot of work as well.
As I said.
I can tell, because even when you walked in here, the phone was buzzing like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's buzzing right now. It's buzzing.
Well, I think I'm not going to cut that off anymore.
I know, we can't cut anymore.
Just to understand, how do you select artists, musicians, dancers that perform at Kwande Fest?
Okay, so as part of the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, they have what they have are entities and clusters that are funded by the department, and one of which is Komisa. So they are the ones that we work very closely when it comes to musicians and performing artists. We also have a friend of the department, and friend, I mean, they give us so much support when it comes to Kwande Fest. They are here physically assisting, and that is with KCAP, so they also come through on that. So when it comes to them kind of suggesting which performers, and it's people that they've worked with. So what we are incorporating, besides those that we are recommended from the industry experts, because remember, with the department, we cannot say that we're experts in this industry, so we have to leverage off of the strengths of those who have actually gone through the processes and who know various professionals within the industry. But over and above that, what we had incorporated last year was an opportunity for musicians to have the to be able to perform on stage. So that's the Rising Stars competition. This year we've incorporated it as part of our networking evening, and it's no longer a standalone competition, but an open mic session. So that's also another way that we're trying to almost test the waters with the emerging performers to see, okay, are we getting a feedback? Is this something that they really want? Because at the end of the day, it's the creatives who kind of tell us what it is that they like and dislike. You can tell by the numbers. I hope I've answered your question.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's basically like saying you able to see a person that's working. Just see who's working, and that person that's working is the one that's going to work, basically. Everything needs to be functional. And after everything else, and after I've attended Kwande Fest, I came, I experienced everything.
Yes.
What is the next step I can take if I was a person who would attend the entire 3-day season?
Oh, wow. Okay, firstly, thank you for attending all 3 days. That's first and foremost. To those who are able to attend, we greatly appreciate that, because it's not for us. Like the sleepless nights and, working on programs and having endless meetings, it's not for our benefit. It's for the creatives who we're creating this platform for. And then secondly, what one can do is they can firstly network with those organizations that are here. So it should not just be you're here and then you leave. It's an opportunity for you to network with the various organizations that are here to get their contact details so that you can actually communicate with them. And that's also an element of Kwande Fest that I think some people do miss out on. That they're here for a reason. They're not just also here So utilize them so that you can gain more knowledge and skills. Network with fellow creatives, your peers within the industry, and those that maybe you're also interested in learning more about their industry. So looking at visual artists, there's visual artists here. If there's something that you're interested in, then you can always, touch base with somebody who can kind of not open the door, but give you a perspective of that industry. And then post the event, we've got programs that we run in the financial year that creatives can also just look at applying at. Check out the social media platforms for the departments, because we will be posting those type of programs on the department's social media platforms as well as the website.
No, most def. That sounds really interesting. And also, well, our time is moving like a race car, but I just have 2 more questions that I need to ask, and we'll just close it off from there.
All right.
But I just want to know, are private entities able to invest on Kwande Fest?
Okay, so first and foremost, as a department, we don't accept monetary funding from external organizations, but we would utilize our NGOs or clusters to receive that. So one more entity that I didn't mention that is also very firm within the planning committee for Kwande Fest is the KZN Film Commission. So that's also an entity that's funded by the department. So you can't come to NEO and say, here, no, please do not. There's not enough money that's worth.
Does it feel more like a bribe?
No, yes, it does, but also there's just not enough money worth that type of thing for me. So But just coming back to your question, yes, we do accept funding from private organizations, whether it's non-financial or financial, and that has got to be funding that obviously is focused towards the upliftment or garnering more, audiences or enabling more people to be a part of Kwande Fest as creatives. That's our main focus, So it can't be something that's just going to benefit a small. Yes, it has to benefit.
It needs to have the same vision as Kwande Fest,
100%.
basically. That makes a lot of sense. And also, speaking of the fact that you're funded by government and you're unable to accept private funding, but your NGOs are able to accumulate those funds so that they're able to function. What role does Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs play on Kwande Fest?
It's powered by the departments.
Okay.
So Kwande Fest is a program that is implemented through the departments. As the creative economy unit, it falls within the departments under sector development. So without the departments, there would be no Kwande Fest.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, big ups. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate this. And also, as this is a very innovative moment, more especially in Durban, and I'd really, really say we appreciate this platform that you've created. Nami alone, I'm a creative with what I'm doing, you know, and thank you very much as well for taking your time to be with us here today. And also, I'd like you to tell the viewers exactly social media access, or social media platform handles, how they can get you and what service they can actually get from you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, firstly, for having us and for chasing us down. We appreciate it. We're very understaffed, so we do apologize for the delay on that.
Yeah.
Audiences can check out Kwande Fest throughout the 3 days, physically or on our streaming platforms. Our social media handles are KZN Kwande Fest. And we have a website that's on YouTube as well, that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Come through, please. It's free of charge, first and foremost, and you can definitely just enjoy it, network, and participate in the various activities. So we hope to see you.
Nah, most def. And also you get myself, SMG the rapper, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, wherever. And also you can get Zishapp on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And also please follow and subscribe on our page on YouTube so that we're able to get this to more people. And also thank you very much for tuning in. And Nomvete, thank you very much for being with me. And for you, Zishapp people, out.
Thank you.